Oh, hello, and welcome to What Are We Talking About with Jamie Jakes. I am him. So what we're going to do, we're going to play a rousing game of Insider versus Idiot, where James will present to us a bet that he recommends. Sometimes he has inside information about it. He asked me how much I wanted to know ahead of time before we talked about this episode, and I said none. Don't tell me anything. He did tell me before, you have 6 bets and a parlay for us today, James.
That is correct.
We are going to keep track of all these bets through the whole season, and we're going to see if the insider wins or the idiot wins. Okay, and we'll keep track week by week. So please stay tuned and subscribe, and tell us which one you guys are following at. James, did I get everything about right? Is that pretty accurate?
You've laid it out perfectly. Perfect start to the season already. The only thing that you messed up was sometimes my gut. It's sometimes just out of my butt.
I usually call you out pretty well when you are talking out of your ass in some of these bets. So let's go ahead and get right to it, buddy. What is your first bet for us on this beautiful Tuesday night as we're recording?
I think a lot of people are going to be surprised based on this outfit, but we go Thursday night football. Start it all off. Putting up a banner, celebrating the win from last year. It's a classic trap. It's in every single sport that you've ever seen. They get tuned into the celebration. They're not game ready because they have to go through 20 minutes of bullshit. And it just never works out most of the time. So I've got the Ravens plus 125 to start off the NFL season week 1 Thursday night football.
The Chiefs and the Ravens. Last year, you were right. We already saw this last year, right, with the Lions. Now we find out Lions are a lot better than we thought they were going to be going into the season. I don't want to talk about it too much, but they're pretty much better this year in some opinions. Anyways, Chiefs lost to the Lions outright, and I think they were like 6.5 point favorites, if my memory serves me correctly. This is a known occurrence in the NFL. That kind of banner hanging hangover, like you were saying. But my main concern with this is did they learn from last year? Are they going to learn to mitigate that stress? And I'm thinking no, it's a Super Bowl. Like a Super Bowl is a Super Bowl, right? So they're going to celebrate the same either way and not care about week 1. I would say back-to-back Super Bowls even kind of multiplies the effect of the banner hangover, especially having lost in week 1 last year. I think they might just be walking on the field like, I don't care at all. So the big changes to the Chiefs, I would say offensively, they're going to be sweet. Xavier Worthy and Rashee Rice is not suspended for week 1. On the other side, you got Derrick Henry on that side of the football, and that Ravens defense probably got a little bit worse from what I'm hearing, or what we're guessing here, sitting here pre-week 1. I love Xavier Worthy, but he's a rookie, and I think we're going to see the Derrick Henry show in week 1. So I got to back you on this one. I agree with you. We'll take Ravens at plus 125.
I grabbed them at plus 125, and that was available as of this morning when I checked.
Okay.
Plus 125.
Cool. We'll take it. Plus 125. Yeah, I take that all the way down to like plus 115. So if that number's moved, chop your numbers, and you should be able to get a 115 at this moment in time. I agree with you. 1 for 1 on that one. James, what's next?
Next up, we've got the Friday night game in Brazil. Don't wear any colors according to the NFL because you'll get shot no matter what color it is. That's
yeah.
That's the official word. That's my inside source, is stay in your hotel.
Yeah.
I have the Eagles at minus 160.
Eagles at minus 160. And did you set up who they're playing, James?
They are playing the Green Bay Packers.
Green Bay Packers. Go ahead.
I just don't believe very highly on. I think you're seeing the regression this year from them. We've also got Kellen Moore as offensive coordinator for the Eagles now. So I think this offense is going to get even better for the Eagles. So I'm all in on the Eagles, at least for this Friday night.
Yeah, he also got a new defensive coordinator. So there's question marks up in the air for the Eagles. And what was the line that you recommended, James?
I've got minus 160, which I think actually might be the heaviest favorite I've ever done on this show.
On this channel. Neutral site in Brazil. Yeah, that doesn't make sense. Why would they be such massive favorites over the Packers?
I have this at like minus 200 Eagles. I think this is going to be a barnstorming.
You really think?
I don't.
You really think? I mean, Jordan Love was so good to end last year. What if that's just what Jordan Love was? And on the other hand, I'm not saying Jalen Hurts is toast or anything, but he didn't have a great end to this season. New offensive coordinator. I think it's going to work, but is it going to work week 1? I don't know. Now, what we haven't talked about yet is their new nuclear weapon on that offense in Philadelphia, who is Johnny Wilson. 6'8" out of Florida State. Look at Florida State without him. That's all I'm saying. Look at where Florida State is without Johnny Wilson on the football field. All right. Despite that, I have to disagree with you. I think I really like the Packers. I think they got better again. I think they're going to be, Packers Lions, they're going to have some showdowns this year. Those are two really, really good ball clubs. And I think the Packers are in a more stable situation going off of last year. They were like hot to end the season, and getting them at plus money.
130, I think it is.
Plus 130. I love that. I think it's a 50-50 game at best. I might lean Packers a little bit more with the neutral site game. So I'm going to disagree with you here. Number 2, despite my love for Johnny Wilson, bonus prop bet, Johnny Wilson anytime touchdown. All right, you're welcome.
That's got to be plus 600 at a minimum.
That's got to be a plus 600 bet, easy.
Barkley anytime touchdown score is probably like minus 250.
Yeah, well, that's going to happen. So yeah, disagree with you there. Agree on the first one. What do you got next for us, James?
Well, let's start moving on to the Sunday slate. Some of these noon games on the East Coast, or noon game Central, 1 o'clock Eastern games, 10 o'clock Pacific. Mountain Time doesn't exist. I don't count it, so we're not even going to go over that. We've got the Panthers and the Saints, a marquee matchup in the NFC South. And I've got the Carolina Panthers at plus 170.
Okay. Panthers and Saints. Where'd you say it was again, James?
Plus 170 for the Carolina Panthers. And there's only one question that you have to answer for the reason why I took this line. Is Derek Carr starting for the New Orleans Saints?
Answer no or yes. Yeah. Answer is yes.
And therefore, you should bet the Panthers.
You are never going to get off of how much you love Spencer Rattler. You're just going to wait for the Rattlers return here. I kind of like the Panthers too. Now, obviously, new addition to that offense, Xavier Legette is, I would assume, an absolute stud. I think Chuba Hubbard's their great halfback. Now that we know Jonathan Brooks won't be involved in this game that we're talking about, I love Chuba Hubbard. We don't know that Jonathan Brooks is going to be better than Chuba Hubbard is. We just don't know that. So I don't think that's a downgrade by any means for the Panthers offense. Bryce Young gets another year, gets a different situation. By a lot of metrics, things weren't super easy for him. Like potentially on the level of Trevor Lawrence in his rookie year in Jacksonville that James knows something about. You do know something about Bryce Young too, don't you? You know how camp's going, don't you? You little stinker. This is an inside bet. You already know the boys are humming. You already know Xavier Legette's going to go for 203 touchdowns. You already know he's going to be starter on the offense, snap one. You're holding it to yourself. Deontay Johnson's also over there. It's going to help out the young lad behind center a lot as well. I mean, it's got to get better, right? And the Saints just stink. They're going to feature Taysom Hill. He's 35 years old. He's older than we are. So yeah, I love it.
In a couple leagues right now if you want, actually.
You sure can, which isn't fair. I mean, Underdog changed it to he's a quarterback now on Underdog.
He should be, but
yeah, that's what
tight end. Exploit that or as much as you can.
Yeah. If he's on your waiver wire, speaking of fantasy football, you need to be getting Taysom Hill on your waiver wire right now if you're allowed to use him as tight end. That's just not fair. Yeah, I love that bet. I love the Panthers this year. I think they're going to have a bounce back year. 2 brand new wide receivers. Sounds like Jonathan Mingo might be getting better as well. They're going to have they're not going to be the worst offense in the league this year. And because of that, I love getting them at, what's the line?
Plus 170. I just checked it as we were talking. It's up to 175 now. So even better than what I bet.
Easy peasy. I hate betting these money lines with you, by the way, James. I am I'm a spread guy. So I hate this experience, just only betting the lines. This is horrible because I am forced to pick a side. That's the part of the gimmick. But
plus four if you want it that way. But I 170 over 4, to be honest with you.
Yeah, for the sake of the gimmick, I'm always gonna say the money line. With that being said, don't bet money lines. Don't listen to James. All right, just bet Bet against the spread. You son of a bitch.
You don't have to be that good if you only bet plus money lines, guys. Simple math.
Yeah. And it's just like week one. Like you just don't know how it's gonna go.
You could
How
blind
the Saints,
fire every underdog this weekend.
Yeah.
Not profitable.
Yeah. As you bet your heaviest favorite on the show in show history, just previous to that. But yeah, I got to agree with you. I think the Panthers are just going to be like a little bit average this year. And do the Saints do anything whatsoever to like for sure get better at football this year?
Besides
Like,
drafting Spencer Rattler, no.
Yeah, exactly. And he's not playing at least until the second quarter. So maybe sprinkle in first half or live bet Saints when Spencer Rattler gets put in because the guys love him. Cool. So we're 2 agreements and 1 disagree, I think, so far by my math.
That's correct. That is correct.
Take it away.
The next one we've got is the Minnesota Vikings at the New York Giants. Another one of those early games. I've got the New York Giants plus 105.
In New York, huh? They're dogs at home.
I honestly think the only reason they are dogs is because Darnold's starting. If Darnold wasn't starting, they should be favored. If JJ McCarthy did not get injured, they would probably be the favorites in this matchup.
If JJ McCarthy, yeah. So I don't want to. So my whole take with Minnesota is that offense can be really bad. Like, don't be picking up Jordan Addison. Probably not even picking up TJ Hawkinson, even when he does come back from injury, even if you have like an IR slot in fantasy football. But it's going to work with Justin Jefferson. With that being said, we saw Justin Jefferson on the field and then lose games again. So just because Justin Jefferson's going to be super efficient and productive this year and Sam Darnold will be the one throwing it to him doesn't mean the rest of the offense is going to look that way. I do love Aaron Jones, but that doesn't really move the needle for me. And I think the Vikings just stink again this year. If I had to guess, they're just going to be like, are we sure that line's any better? No. We know the Giants have a great matchup defensively on that defensive line with Thibodeau. And yeah, the Giants lose Saquon, which is a massive loss, the identity of their offense. But Singletary's good. And people kind of forget he's a good football player. So I don't mind him there. And then, of course, Malik Neighbors and a healthy Daniel Jones. I get it. The small sample size we saw with Daniel Jones at the beginning of the season was horrible. It was like the worst quarterback play. He would have been worse than Zach Wilson, probably. He was trending in that direction. Or what he was really trying is just getting pulled off the field. But what if he's just better this year? What if he's back to like kind of the form he was in to get signed that massive contract? And how did you trick me into betting on Dable? I knew you were going to do this. I knew going in, you were going to trick me into betting it. You were going to make a Giants bet week 1, obviously. And he tricked me into it. But I have to agree with you. You're right. I hate Dable. He is calling plays for this game. You didn't mention that. Don't like that.
You didn't like Bill O'Brien, and he absolutely just crushed Florida State. So,
well, does he coach for Georgia Tech?
No.
Well, they beat the shit out of Florida State too.
They had to get a field goal to win the game. They won on a field goal.
Okay.
Boston College just absolutely fucking dog ran them out. They whipped them hard. It was a stomping down in the swamps of Tallahassee. I
have heard from a few sources that the situation over there in Houston was not very, wasn't going to work, no matter who was coaching there. At that point in his tenure. So maybe it was set up for failure. Maybe I was a little bit rude to him, but college football is a whole different game, James, and you know that, baby. All right. So anyways, I can't believe you just made me bet on the Giants, you son of a gun.
Stop going after my Alabama coordinators that have Brian somewhere in their name. That's all I have.
Okay. No, I won't stop that. But go ahead. What's next?
Next up, we've got the later slate. We're going into some of the mid-afternoon games here. We're going Raiders versus Chargers in Los Angeles. A home advantage for the Chargers. Is
anybody going to be at this game?
I have a joke for that I can't say on the podcast.
Because no one's going to be at this game. No one's going to be at this game.
I'll text it to you later.
LA team versus Raiders at home. Gardner Minshew under center for snap 1. we might not be able to see this game even on the Sunday ticket because it'll be blacked out because there's not enough fans in the seats. Anyways, sorry.
I think
Go ahead.
We'll see a shockingly large amount of fans there.
You'll see jorts. You'll see Gardner Minshew fans. That's about it.
I mean, if I gotta go to a game in Inglewood for the cheap, why not? Why not?
I guess, man.
It's a nice day.
Yeah, people are going to be getting drunk.
I have bet, over under number of fights in the stands for this one would be a good bet. I've got the Las Vegas Raiders coming in here.
Okay.
I know Gardner Minshew starting against our better bets, but Jim Harbaugh's first game. I like John. I don't like Jim. Somebody who's a cheater. Jim Harbaugh, just to make sure that's on the record. He's a cheater. First game at home. I don't think he's going to do a lot with this. I think they're going to run the ball pretty heavy. I very much like what the Raiders mentality is. I think if any team has a head coach outside of the Houston Texans that wants to stop the run more aggressively, it would be the Las Vegas Raiders. So I like the Raiders here, plus 135. I think they should honestly be favored in this matchup.
So I don't like that we're getting a week one out of an interim head coach being signed in as the official head coach. I think picking up a team that already has a process, already has a schedule kind of made for you is not that hard as interim head coach. And, we've seen interim head coaches later on become to be successful head coaches, but I'm not aware of an instance where an interim head coach was then made a head coach and it working out really well for the same team. I think it takes a lot of preparation and just kind of know-how and experience. And I don't think it's going to be as fun the second year round as it was to end that season. Maybe I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I love the guy, but I also like a lot of the Jason Garrett.
Jason Garrett was an interim head coach.
No, was he an interim head coach and then signed to the same team? Yeah.
Cowboys.
And how'd that go?
I mean, they made the playoffs.
Okay.
That's my one example after Googling very quickly.
Okay. Did you ask ChatGPT or whatever? But
I got ChatGPT in the background. You know it.
I know you do. Yeah. Okay. I mean, is that good? What was their? Okay. So how do they do? How do they do their first 3 games that season?
Garrett did unfortunately lose the first game at New York, but then he won against the San Francisco 49ers, and this was 2011, so they were at least decent.
2011. What was the score to that Jets game?
The Jets game, they lost 27-24.
Close game.
San Francisco game, they took it to overtime and won 27-24. And then the Washington football team, and they won 18-16. So a lot of close games. He kept it close in all of them.
Well, let me tell you, it didn't go as well for Freddie Kitchens starting off. I'll tell you that much. I get it. He's a player, which makes things different than Freddie Kitchens and whatever. But like a former player being a head coach, I mean Gardner Minshew, he's gonna cut off to a slow start. I guess Devontae Adams is still over there. Zamir White, we think is going to be good for that offense. We know that defense is going to be pretty damn solid, though.
My boy Brock Bowers.
Yeah, who knows if he's going to be.
Jim Harbaugh couldn't stop him in college.
But on the other hand, I mean, I also don't like Harbaugh, but I do think they're going to run the piss out of the football. I think Ladd McConkey is going to be good. I think Josh Palmer is going to be potentially like the Nico Collins of this year for shoot. Like I think Josh Palmer, he's 24 years old. He's got good size, good speed, played well last year. Now 2 players on the offense gets vacated. And I get it. Mike Williams wasn't really part of the team last year because he went down early, but I kind of like the Chargers here. I don't think it's going to be like a heavy Raiders fan group there. If anything, I think it'll be 30% people who are there for the Raiders, 30% who are there for the Chargers, and the other 30% are there to get drunk and have a good time. What was the line on this?
This line was the Raiders plus 135 or plus 3 on the spread.
Give me the Chargers. I just want the Chargers.
Wow.
I think they're going to be. I think they're going to be fine. I think they're going to run the football. I think Justin Herbert's going to be efficient when he does get the opportunity to throw the football. I think that defense will hopefully be better this year. And the Raiders are going to start with an interim head coach, 2 new coaches to their teams. So it should be interesting storylines there. But I really just give me the better quarterback with at home, basically just paying it's a neutral site. It would be Chargers like minus 105 plus 100, right? So yeah, give me the Chargers, give me Justin Herbert and the better quarterback. And I'm going to ride with that, James. So I disagree with you.
Last argument for you on this. It's in Inglewood. It's the worst of the 2 Los Angeles teams. You know who has a massive Raiders fan base? Los Angeles. I think this might end up being a 60% Raiders crowd. As somebody who grew up in the Bay Area and saw how crazy those Raiders fans were in Oakland when it went to Niners games, those guys travel. And especially if you live in Los Angeles and you're a Raiders person, these are going to be cheap tickets. I'll say this. If we kick it off and 60% of this crowd is wearing black, game over.
Yeah, but are Raiders fans even intelligent? Do they even know without the Megatron? Do they know enough about football to be like, I need to be loud on 3rd down? No, they're not smart enough. So
they're on all the time. They don't turn it off. They don't turn it off. That's the beauty of the Raiders.
That's the problem. That's the problem, James. They're going to be loud on offense just like they're going to be loud on defense. They're stupid. They're dumb. They're dumb human beings. If you're watching, I'm joking, obviously, but most of them are.
If you're a Raider fan watching this program, unsubscribe.
The ones that are watching are obviously highly intelligent individuals. I don't want to group.
Coming back to the show.
Yeah, whatever. But I think they would agree with me. They'd be like, our fans are when you're a part of a dumb fan base. Like, I'm a Browns fan, for goodness sakes. Like, I know what it's like, By the way, also a Lions fan, forced the only false start from a home crowd in the entire preseason. It was in the 4th quarter. It was 3rd down, and Lions fans are losing their mind for a meaningless snap in the 4th quarter. They're still there. Anyways, I get off on tangents. Speaking of bad fan bases, though, yeah, that's not going to be an advantage, I don't think. 60% of Raiders fans without the use of a jumbotron telling them to be quiet or be loud. And yeah, just give me the way better quarterback to cover that spread or whatever, minus 3 points.
Wow. Well, speaking of your Cleveland Browns, my Cleveland Browns. That one. Yeah. Dallas Cowboys coming into Cleveland.
Tom Brady calling the game, I believe.
Must watch TV, in my opinion.
Oh yeah.
And the beauty of this is it's not.
I'm having a party. You coming?
Potentially, because ESPN and Direct TV and ATT have not scheduled anything, so I do get NFL.
Come to my party. We're smoking ribs and stuff starting at 3:30. So come to my house.
3:30. I'll be wearing my Cowboys jersey.
Sweet.
All right. Yeah, it was easy.
Bring the wife.
I'll bring her.
Anyways, go ahead. Set up the whatever.
So Cowboys coming into Cleveland.
Yes.
I've got the Dallas Cowboys at plus 120 for this one.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw that line, and that was interesting, right? That was an interesting line. I mean, it's in Cleveland, right?
In Cleveland. No Nick Chubb. Jerome Ford, pretty good, though.
Jerome Ford's good, and they're going to have a healthier offensive line. They still got guys like kind of coming back in that offensive line, but I think people don't like. There was a reason Stefanski won head coach of the year, and a part of it was his quarterbacks, but the big part of it was his offensive line. It was crazy how many guys that they just threw out there, and it just somehow kind of worked, sort of. Even with Joe Flacco on the football field. Otherwise, number one defense, all the same except like slightly older in a good way. Like now they're all kind of hitting the primes of their career. They're all like 28, 29 years old on that defensive side of the ball. The offense, is it going to be a year 4 post-scandal Mike Vick like bounce back season for Deshaun Watson is all the question it's the only question that we're asking. He's got Jerry Jeudy over there now. David Njoku's healthy. New offensive coordinator. The guy who, you ever heard of this guy named Josh Allen? His offensive coordinator's in town now. That might help Deshaun Watson. I don't know, maybe. Obviously, Amari Cooper, Jerry Jeudy. It's going to be so difficult to fail as a quarterback in this offense. I feel like Deshaun Watson had like a sore arm like 2 weeks ago. Everyone lost their mind. Sometimes a sore arm is just a sore arm. I think the shoulder's doing great based on what I'm seeing from practice.
This is a masseuse. We're good to go.
Well, maybe he found the right one. Maybe he found old Jerry from around the corner, and Jerry's keeping him feeling all lubed up. I don't know. I can't look into a camera and talk into a microphone right now, week 1 undefeated Cleveland Browns, and be like, yeah, I agree with you. The Cowboys are winning. No fucking way are the Cowboys winning. And you know why? Because CeeDee Lamb's going to be rusty. All right. That offensive line ain't going to be what it was last year. And guess what? Myles Garrett used to lining up on a future Hall of Famer for the Cowboys. Now he's lining up on not a future Hall of Famer for the Cowboys. And he's going to wreak havoc in the backfield. I love me some Dowdle, but it ain't like it's he ain't Saquon back there. He ain't primetime Zeke back there. He ain't primetime Dalvin Cook back there. All those people are dead and gone. They're dust. And I get it. The Cowboys are win now this year, but they ain't winning this one. Not against my Cleveland Browns. So I'm gonna have to totally disagree with you. Give me the Browns. Whatever I have to lay down, I'll take it on the Cleveland Browns. Jerome Ford's gonna be great.
Minus 140 or minus 2.5.
Give me minus 2.5. Jerome Ford's gonna be great.
Alabama guy.
Jerome Ford's gonna be great. A lot of Alabama guys. You love betting on football teams that have a lot of Alabama guys on them. Anyways, James, what do we got? Like 1 more, 2 more, 3 more?
We got 1 more parlay.
Okay, parlay to finish up the show. Thanks for listening this far. Go ahead.
This is my Sunday, Monday parlay. I felt like I wanted something on this, but I didn't like the lines. So what I did was I parlayed the lines and the Niners money line. It came out to plus 140. I think both of these teams are going to win. So that's kind of why I parlayed it, but I don't like any of these lines individually, if that makes sense. Right?
Yeah.
So this is if you're a gambling addict like myself,
sure,
this is at least the best opportunity that you can have with these 2 games, I think. But if you are betting serious money on it, don't do it. I know it's kind of lame, but both of these games the lines are crazy on this one.
So you got a money line for both of the game parlay. What are the 2 teams you picked?
The Detroit Lions and the San Francisco 49ers. I think this might be...
Okay, the Detroit Lions are playing the Rams. Right. Just to set it up for everybody. Detroit Lions are playing Rams, and it's Niners Jets.
Yeah.
On Monday night. I'll be at a Joey Valance and Bray concert.
So,
yeah. Okay. I think Lions are just going to beat the piss out of Stafford and the Rams. I think it's going to be gross. I think the Lions defense is going to be really good this year. From what I'm hearing, that Lions defense is going to be really good this year. And that offense, guess what? It was really good last year. And guess what's changed? Like the right guard might have gotten an upgrade. So that's good news. Jahmyr Gibbs, year older, 5 pounds bigger. His neck grew like 3 sizes. He might be like walking around like 210 now, which I love for Jahmyr Gibbs, our new bell cow back, speaking into existence. David Montgomery's still back there. And then obviously you're going to have a breakout season out of Jameson Williams. That's just going to happen. He's going to catch for over 1,000 yards, over 6 touchdowns. That's just going to happen. The best rookie tight end since Mike Ditka, Sam Laporta on the team. We all know him. We all love him. Amon-Ra St. Brown inside a dome. And you know Jared Goff loves good dome. All right. And he's going to be getting dome on the road this year. He's going to be getting dome at home this year. He's got 3 outdoor games, and one of them is like week 18 in San Francisco. So that's not going to be that bad. Okay. Lions are going to roll, and they're going to start week 1 here. The boys are hungry. They're not going to have an NFC championship loss hangover. They're here to win a Super Bowl. That's the expectation, and everyone's already said it out loud. So here we are. Here we go. Lions week 1. Steamrolling Kyren Williams and Matt Stafford and the Rams. That's just going to happen. Okay. Jets losing to the Niners week 1. Ayuk and Trent just didn't practice with the team whatsoever. I think Trent can probably just like roll out of bed 5 years after being retired and be an all-pro tackle. I think that's just going to be...
Trent's on a private jet right now flying back to the Bay Area to sign that contract. So...
Oh, I thought it was already like done. Maybe by the time we're recording, it's not done, but it's basically done
right now as we talk.
Yeah. As we're recording on Tuesday night, that's not going to be an issue. Ayuk, I don't know. I'm kind of worried about his hamstrings. I'm kind of worried about him ramping up. He was a hold in, which when you're holding in, you're not practicing. You're just walking around the sideline all day. You're there. You're in the facility for a while. Now, I imagine you're doing team meetings and stuff too while you're there. When's the time you're going to be running sprints? Are you really going to stay after practice for 3 hours or like go off campus, off facility when you're negotiating your contract and be like running sprints? I don't think so, because you can't even afford like a hamstring sprain in a non-football injury. You lose all leverage that way. Got to pass your physical once you get back inside. So I'm a little bit concerned about Brandon Ayuk. With that being said, Deebo Samuel, Kittle, Christian McCaffrey. So who cares?
Kyle
right?
Juszczyk. Kyle Juszczyk is put him. Whoever's injured, you put him for there.
Yeah, defense should be good again this year. So even if Ayuk is slow to start, I don't think it's really going to matter. But the Jets are a wagon, dude. The Jets are like the second best defense in the league. Again, just like the Browns, they got a year older and a year better, I think. That offense is going to have Aaron Rodgers. They got 3 new tackles on the offensive side of things, which is going to be really, really helpful for our boy Breece Hall to absolutely pound the rock. It's going to be really, really helpful for Agent Zero, Braylon Allen. I think the Jets win it. And because you're doing like a 2 coin flip parlay, I have to disagree with it, Mr. James.
Here's probably the pro move in this situation. Parlay Lions-Niners. Lions beat the crap out of them on Sunday night. Once that's done, bet the Jets money line, guaranteed profit.
Okay. So that's how we get at it. We hedge ahead of time. I'd rather just take the bigger money and take the Jets side. So I guess force bet, right? So this is a force bet. I am going to take the Jets and the Lions parlay.
Okay.
And that I'm assuming that would be a way bigger payout than your less good bet.
Yeah. I was aggressive. It is plus 316 for that.
Plus 316. Hell yeah. That's big time money. That's a plus 300 bet for you at home. You're welcome. Thank you for watching. My name is Jamie Jakes. This is NFL Insider, not a public figure, James. Thank you for being on the channel, buddy. As always, I'm excited to find out you're coming Sunday. That's great news. What else do you have to tell the audience? Natalie just went. Natalie's pumped.
What else do I have to say? I am just happy that football season's back. I'm excited. Feels like life has returned to normalcy, right? It's like the world stopped spinning and now it spins again. So I'm excited.
Back to normal.
Excited for a long season of me destroying the idiot.
Yeah, me too. I'm excited to see you exploit me as well. Bonus content. Get your wives or significant others, especially if they're not like super football fans, like my wife. James probably doesn't have to worry about it because you can just get your wife like football tickets and she's like, fuck yeah. My wife, not the same. If you have a wife like mine, get her presents and be like, I'm sorry, it's football season. And you're starting off the football season on a high note. So that's good news. That's a good little life hack for you. And that's it, right, James? That's all we got to tell them?
That's all we got to tell them.
Okay. Well, we'll see you next week. One more sleep for you as you're watching here till NFL football action. My name's Jamie Jakes. Please subscribe, leave a comment. Tell me who you're following. Are you following the idiot? Are you following the insider? Thank you. And we'll see you next time.